Hello everybody. Standard 10, subject Social Science. Today we'll continue our session of chapter 10, India Agriculture, in session number 2. The points on which we are going to discuss today are farming methods performed in India in different regions, food grains, and in that we will discuss specially about two, and that one paddy, that is rice, and second one is wheat. So let's begin first of all with the different farming methods adopted by Indian farmers in a different region. On the basis of criteria, they are divided into three types. First one, organic farming. Second one, sustainable farming. And the third one is mixed farming. There is a chance in exam you may get a question of 3 mark. Explain the different farming methods. So just give your 100% attention. Let's discuss these in detail. The very first one is organic farming. The name itself indicates that in such a farming method in which urea or any other chemical fertilizers and insecticides are not used. That means while performing or practicing the farming on the basis of organic method, the farmer will not use any kind of chemical fertilizers and chemical insecticides will not be used. Why? Because in these methods they mostly rely on a natural elements which helps in a farming method. So instead of chemical fertilizer and insecticides, what they are preferring for the nutrition of the crops, dung, earthenworm fertilizers, composite fertilizers are used, as these are the natural fertilizers derived with the help of animal waste or a plant waste. At the same time, a good friend of the farmer, that is a earthworm, that also helps to improve the fertility of the soil, or you can say the nutrition of the soil. Okay, and that's why at the same time they are also using composite fertilizers. Cow urine, neem solvents, buttermilks are used for the protection of the crops. Why? Because these are the liquids which will work as a pesticides in order to kill the germs or insects growing on a crops. At the same time, the urine of a cow, neem solvents, because it is bitter in taste, buttermilk is acidic in nature, that will help the crop to gain and sustain its natural elements, right? And in short sense we can say that in organic farming, modern chemical fertilizers and insecticides or chemical is avoided totally. The rate at which the chemical fertilizers and pesticides are used, destructive effect of these chemicals is also felt. As you are learning this concept since a long, in science also we have discussed that overuse of different chemical fertilizers and insecticides affects the fertility of the soil. It also kills the natural insecticides remain in a soil which is helpful for the growth of good crops. अगर ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा केमिकल फर्टिलाइज़र का इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, लंबे समय के बाद सॉइल का फर्टिलिटी ग्रो होने की जगह पर धीरे धीरे वो डाउन होने लगेगा. द सॉइल will start accumulating the different salty substance because of overuse of chemical fertilizer in a long time. लॉन्ग टाइम के बाद केमिकल फर्टिलाइज़र का अगर इस्तेमाल हो रहा है तो उसकी वजह से सॉइल में सॉल्टी सब्सटेंस बढ़ने लगेंगे, जिसका अल्टीमेटली इफेक्ट होगा ऑन द ग्रोथ ऑफ क्रॉप्स ग्रोन इन दैट पर्टिकुलर फार्म. Due to the presence of these chemical and insecticides in the grains, vegetables and fruits, it has affected adversely the hygiene of the people. In a nowadays, mostly whatever fruits, vegetables or grains we are buying from the open market are grown which by using such kind of chemical fertilizer and insecticides, and the long constant use of such grains, vegetables and fruits will create health related issue in our life, and that's why organic farming is option to replace all these unhygienic crops. More damage is caused to the environment. Why? Because we are using chemical fertilizer and it will affect the soil. The productive capacity and the fertility of the land has reduced, due to which the crops of production of the land and its quality were reduced over a long run. As I told you that if we will keep on using chemical fertilizer in our farm for a longer period of time, अगर लंबे समय तक हम अगर ज़्यादा केमिकल फर्टिलाइज़र, इंसेक्टिसाइड्स इन सभी का इस्तेमाल करते रहेंगे, एक वक्त ऐसा आ जाएगा कि फर्टिलिटी इम्प्रूव होने के बजाय डाउन होने लगेगी और फाइनली क्रॉप का प्रोडक्शन भी कम होने लगेगा. एट द सेम टाइम द प्रोडक्ट्स ग्रोन विद द हेल्प ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग by using the natural elements will have a more nutrition. They contain a very good natural taste, a good sweetness and a beautiful fragrance too, as the crops is grown by using the natural elements, natural substance and natural fertilizers, natural insecticides. The crops, fruits, vegetables, grain grown with such technique will have their natural taste as it is. The sweetness of the food, fruits and vegetable will remain as it is, and that will help us to gain a good nutritious foods. At the same time, minerals, vitamins and life energizing elements in the crops also will remain as it is. And nowadays, as the people are more aware about the healthy life, they have started giving importance to organic farm products, and that's why day by day the demand of crops, vegetables, fruits which are grown with the help of organic farming are gaining more demand. At the same time, the farmer who is giving efforts to grow all these crops is also getting a good return for his effort. Second one is sustainable farming. In order to see that the soil fertility is retained for a longer time, care is taken for crop rotation. Second method to avoid the use of chemical fertilizer, insecticides, is sustainable farming, in which in order to maintain the fertility of the soil for a longer period of time, the farmer keep on rotating the crop in the farm. उसका ये मतलब हुआ कि अगर कोई भी क्रॉप आप कॉन्स्टेंटली अगर आपके फार्म में ग्रो करते रहते हो and you are not changing it, it will reduce the fertility of the soil. So what should be done? Instead of using the chemical fertilizer to improve the fertility, such crops which takes and extracts less fertility from the soil, that can be grown alternatively, one after the another. कि फार्म में अगर एक साल हमने कोई ऐसा क्रॉप ग्रो किया था जो सॉइल से ज़्यादा फर्टिलिटी एक्सट्रैक्ट करता है, तो उसके नेक्स्ट टाइम हमें ऐसा क्रॉप ग्रो करना है जो कम फर्टिलिटी वाली सॉइल में भी आसानी से ग्रो हो सकता है. This will give a chance to soil to gain its fertility in a natural way. At the same time, in sustainable farming, the chemical fertilizer also will be used, but very rarely. Most of the time, they will try to go for other available options. The use of biotic control for the insects and harvest and water conservations are given a priority in a sustainable farming. Now, next one is mixed farming. In this farming method, as the farmers are growing the crops and cultivating the field, at the same time they will also do some sorts of cattle rearing, poultry farming, sericulture or a fishing works along with the main farming activity. So here the farmer is not only depending on a cultivation of the farm. Simultaneously, he is also adopting the other jobs, other activity of the primary sector like cattle rearing or a livestock rearing, poultry farming and sericulture and a fishing in order to earn more returns. Okay, and that's why it is a fusion and it is called as a mixed farming. Now the food grains. Food grains are cultivated in about 75% of the total area sown and about 50% of the total production comes from the grain. As India is one of the agrarian nations since a long time, whatever agricultural activity the farmers are performing, in that 75% area are cultivated by growing the food grains, and in that 50% of the total productions come from grains, and that includes the major fruit grains are paddy and that is also called as rice. Paddy is our most important crop consumed not in a majority in India only, but the majority of the population in the world also consumes the rice. India stands second in the world after China in paddy production. So you can say that China is at the first place in the production of rice and India is holding a second position. That can be asked in objective type question. Other things which is required to grow a paddy in a good quantity, they are paddy is sown over a 1/4 of the total sown area in India. It is a crop of the torrid zone where you are getting a good amount of heat. At the same time, you are also getting a good amount of rainfall. In such area, the paddy can be grown. Climate, as I told you, it requires a good amount of hot climate. At the same time, humid environment is also needed. Temperature minimum required is 20 degree Celsius. It should not be very much more. A soil which is required to grow the paddy must be a good quality alluvial soil. In types of soil, we have learned in 9th standard that the alluvial soil is the best soil to grow and to do the agricultural activity. So whatever alluvial is brought by the different main rivers, such alluvial will be helpful to grow a paddy or a rice. In order to grow the rice, more than 100 centimeter of rainfall is required. Why? You might be aware that the rice is grown in a water-filled farm, and in order to get a good crops, water is the main requirements, and that's why those region and those area which receives more than 100 centimeter of rainfall, there the rice are grown. More for human labor is required for the paddy cultivation. At the same time, we know that India is having a good amount of population. So instead of using the machines, if the labors are used, it will be helpful to provide a good job opportunity. And in the growth of paddy cultivation, we need more labor as given in an image. In the region of the less rainfall in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, this crop is taken through the irrigation. So those area in India like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, these are actually famous for growing a wheat, but at the same time With the help of irrigations, this region are also growing rice. The important states which are very much in a top list in India for the growth of rice are West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar and Orissa. In these regions, they normally take this crop 2 to 3 times by using the extra available facility of irrigation. At the same time, in our Gujarat also, the paddy is grown in a Surat, Tapi, Panchmahal district, Ahmedabad, Kheda region, Anand and Valsad district. Paddy requires more water. However, instead of keeping the paddy field fully under water, paddy is grown by irrigating through the sprinklers using the less water. As the day by day the population is growing, the crisis of water is also now growing day by day. Instead of filling the whole field with the water, the modern methods of irrigations like sprinklers are used to get a good crop by using a less water. Now another important crop which is grown in India or one of the important food grain is wheat. Wheat is the second important crop of our country after the rice. In India, majority of the people living in the southern India is using rice as their main food or in a main diet. At the same time, the wheat is consumed in a northern region of India, and that's why north and west region the people are living, they are consuming a good amount of wheat. One third area of India are cultivated with the wheat. It's a rabi crop of a temperate zone, right? Temperate zone means a region above the torrid zone and below the frigid zone where the temperature is moderate, and it is also kind of rabi season crop. You can also call it as a kharif crop too. It requires a good amount of fertile loamy soil with a good fertility and a nutritious content. Rainfall more than 75 centimeter is required in order to get a good crop of the wheat. And in those regions where the rainfall is less, but with the help of available irrigation facility, they can cultivate the wheat. But the thing is should be cared if the region is receiving more than 100 centimeter of rainfall, then in such region it is not possible to grow wheat. Why? Because if there is a more than 100 centimeter of rainfall, the field will get totally overpowered with the water, and in that case wheat cannot be grown. But that area is preferable to grow rice or a paddy. As nowadays, because of the constant growing demand, most of the farmers, those who are cultivating the wheat, are using more machineries, and that's why less labors are required compared to the paddy cultivation also. After the Green Revolution, especially in 1986, the wheat production is almost doubled, and now India is totally self-dependent in the field of food grain production. It is cultivated and carried out mostly in Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh, as these regions are falling into a temperate zone. The states contributes about two-thirds of the total national production. Okay, which are the states? Punjab, Haryana and western UP. So this you should keep in mind. आपको ये याद रखना है कि इंडिया में कौन से स्टेट्स है जहाँ पे 2/3 wheat production हो जाता है. So that states are Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh. Can be asked in objective question. As there is irrigation facilities are available, because at the time of Green Revolution, major dam construction work are carried out in a northern part, and that is helping them to get a good crop of wheat. Due to the canal water in Punjab, there is a abundant wheat production, and Punjab is called as a wheat bowl of India. Okay, what the Punjab is called? Wheat bowl. Why? It is the leading producer of wheat in the entire India, and that's why it is a wheat bowl of India in case of wheat production. As the wheat is also produced in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, West Bengal also. A special quality of Bhalia wheat, है ना, it is a kind of, it's a type of wheat. Shihori, MP, Lokwan, Tukdi, है ना, these are the different types of wheat which are grown, है ना, or cultivated in a different region. So Bhalia wheat is produced in a Bhal region of Gujarat, and which is having a unique quality and a good demand in entire world. Now Mehsana, Rajkot, Junagadh, Kheda, these are also the region where the wheats are produced in a good quantity. Now wheat is a main part of our daily diet, and what we are making from them, that includes roti, bhakri, sev, है ना, shiro made from a sira, or you can say है ना, made from a wheat flour. It's a kind of halwa, lapsi or a ladu, sukhdi, है ना, bread, puri, the cake, biscuits, है ना. Now it is giving a yummy taste, है ना, to fill the tummy. अच्छी अच्छी चीज़ें देख के खाने का मन हो रहा है. So these are the things which normally, है ना, made from a wheat. All these things, है ना, your mama is also cooking for you. So these are the products which you can cook from the wheat. At last, among all grains, wheat is the most nutritious, and that is why wheat is also called the king of grain. What is called king of grain? Wheat. Why? Because it is most nutritious grain, and it is also providing a huge amount of varieties which we can prepare from wheat. Okay, so I hope you might have enjoyed this pictorial session. Keep on learning and keep on revising, students. Take care.